Hello, my name is Jeanette. I would like to share with you things that are thoughts that come to me or advice that's coming to me that's helping me get through existing as a human being. I could try to tell you all the reasons why I'm a credible source for guidance or what qualifies me to be able to tell someone what they can and cannot do with their life. But the truth of the matter is, if I say something that touches your heart, that's really the only qualification that matters. So if you hear me say something that helps you feel whole or helps you feel like you can do this, then I'm glad. And I did the right thing today. So the first thing is, as you are in processes of trying to implement more things into your life, if you start finding yourself in states of massive confusion or disassociation or things like that, I have come to figure out that sometimes it's because you're making new beliefs that you want to live your life by, and you start making those new habits, but sometimes conflicting old beliefs aren't compatible with the things that you're trying to do. And the way that that may manifest is disassociation, depression, anxiety. It's kind of like if you know that you are wanting to start taking, let's say, exfoliating baths, right? And you usually prefer to take exfoliating baths. And you've been doing it for like a week. And then all of a sudden, for the next week, you stop exfoliating in the bath. It may seem like all of a sudden your skin starts doing really crazy, wild things, or, it's like the way your body is responding is worse than before, but it's because you started a new pattern and going back to an old pattern isn't going to work. So that's something I've recently figured out about myself when I started to try to use my own sense of moral compass to not only moral, because moral is subjective, but just kind of personal compass of authenticity for living my life. And things were going really, really well. And then all of a sudden, following that compass got me into a new place. But some of the things happening in the new place were not compatible with me staying authentic to myself. And the way that that ended up showing up inside my world was constantly feeling completely disconnected from how I felt and what was going on with me. And it terrified me. It pretty much caused like this huge depression attack until I realized it's because I'm trying to be the person who used to be able to exist in dysfunction. And I'm not that person anymore. I've developed a sensitivity to it, if you will. So, all that to say, try to listen more to, if you're committed to changing your life in positive ways, you may encounter situations where you cannot exist within what you used to. So that's just something to keep in mind. Yes, I do have a little piece of paper of things that I wanted to talk about. The next thing is, remember as you're changing your world, and that's whether you're going places that you want to go and you're just trying to get to next steps, or you're completely situating your life in entirely new ways based on what you need. You're like a train. You're going in whatever direction at 100 miles an hour. And if you end up thinking that, hey, I'm trying to go back in the other direction, but you don't give yourself time and space to slow down, get to a stop, and then start to shift a different way, then it's essentially like you're trying to crash yourself into a brick wall over and over and over again to be able to go back into the other direction. And again, that can look like sheer mental dysfunction, but also physical problems inside your body, which is something I also started to encounter. So remember, as that happens, you have to figure out what slowing your train down looks like. And fair warning, that may mean lower productivity from you in many things. But You just have to give yourself that space and time and kind of lean into the slowdown, because that's the only way it's going to go better. Otherwise, you can stop, but it might mean a complete total mental collapse for you to stop and go back the other way. So that's something else to keep in mind. Um, Two more things. If you are good at things or you like doing something, there is often a lot of pressure to keep doing it or figure out a way to let it take care of you monetarily and things like that. Especially when you're exceptional at it and other people are like, oh my gosh, why are you not doing this all the time? It's okay to do it only a little, or even structure how much you want to do this particular thing in a way that makes sense for you. For example, I recently started making plate lunches. I've always liked to cook here and there, and it's better for me to make my own home meals, but most of the time, well, not even most of the time, all the time, I can't eat much at a time and I get tired of leftovers. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start cooking and making plates. It went well. People love my cooking. And then I started to pressure myself, like, how often should I be cooking? What should I be doing to make sure I can pay my rent? Like, oh my gosh, every day was this sort of thing of, well, now if I stop cooking, then I'm going to be letting people down, or I'm not using something that's my own type of gift to take care of myself or even just keep it going, until I realized, hey, it's okay for me to decide, you know what? Maybe I cook once a week. Maybe I cook once a month. Maybe I have it set up to where it's like, you know what? If I cook, maybe people can get in touch with me and say, hey, I really don't want to cook dinner tonight. It's 10 a.m. in the morning. Do you think you can whip up something for 4 people for cooking? By the way, guys, no, I don't have no snot there. I just have like a tiny pimple there that's getting on my nerves. Anyways, people can get in touch with me and say, hey, do you mind whipping something up? I'm okay with setting that type of dynamic for myself and being able to set my own boundaries as well with something that I'm good at. And that felt like a huge relief and breakthrough for me. So hopefully that can help someone else. Last but not least, as you go forward, trying to follow your own sense of inner authenticity, or your own sense of what makes sense for you and makes you comfortable, can be hard if your sense of self trust has been eroded by life and things like that. For example, this is an activity I love. Let's say you live in an apartment complex, and let me tone this one down because I don't want to like be especially triggering. But let's say you live in an apartment complex, and when you leave out your apartment, you go straight and there's the elevator bays, or you go to the left and there's the stairs. You usually take the elevator because your car is right there just at the end of the lift. You're great. Well, one day you leave out your apartment door and someone jumps you right by the elevator bay, takes your purse, and hits you in the head. Did you make a mistake by going to the elevators instead of to the stairs? No. How are you supposed to know? That's what somebody else did. Why would you be mad at yourself for what somebody else did that you didn't see coming? Now, let's say you're about to leave out your door and a wizard pops up in front of your door out of nowhere, just poof, out of smoke. And he's like, hello, traveler. I have many things to say. If you listen to me, your day can go your way. Should you go straight forward to the elevator door, I'm afraid you will find yourself crying on the floor. But if you go to the left upon leaving your home, you will find great riches and a place to, I don't know, something that rhymes with home, whatever. If you leave out your front door and you go to the elevator and somebody robs you and hits you in the head, did you make a mistake? No. How are you supposed to know you could trust a random wizard who popped up in your living room or your apartment? What is that? Who is that guy? I don't know that guy. Even if you've had other wizards randomly pop up in your apartment, how do I know I could trust this one? So yeah, it's a red flag, but like, can I trust that red flag? If I tried to listen to every single red flag, I'd never go anywhere or do anything. So no, like, that's not my fault. Yeah, it was like a weird warning, but how was I supposed to know I could trust that? Now, let's say you're about to leave your apartment and your best friend calls you on the phone and they're like, hey, yo, I just passed your apartment complex. There's like all kinds of law enforcement outside because they said there's somebody inside robbing people, taking people hostage. It's crazy. And, I'm just saying, don't leave your apartment. And if you leave your apartment, don't take the elevators. They said the guy is hanging out by elevators and stuff and he's mugging people. Just whatever you do, try to avoid that. Now, if you leave your apartment and you go straight to the elevator door and the person jump out and rob you and hit you in the head, is that your fault? Yes, it is. Your friend called you. They tried to tell you. They tried to warn you. And you still went and did it. Plus, you had an alternate route. You could have taken the stairs, but you didn't. Now, in that situation, yes, you're bad. You really should have thought that through. But let's say the reason you're trying to leave your apartment is because you know your significant other is having a huge emergency. Let's say, that they're whatever reason you need to get to them right away. And so in this situation, you're like, I really need to get to them. And I hurt my leg the other day, so I can't do stairs right now. And I just must leave the house. If that happens and you get mugged, you still have to remember the space that you came from with that. You tried to take the chance that perhaps that would not be the elevator on the fourth floor where the robber would be, so you could get to your car because you wanted to do the right thing for whatever that looks like for you. So you have to be okay with that if it doesn't go as planned. Now, the reason we went through this exercise, though, is because life and society has taught us that anytime something goes not according to plan, we made a mistake. Whether it's the first scenario where you didn't see it coming at all the way down to you really had the best intentions and you went for it and it didn't work out. The problem with that is it slowly erodes your sense of self-trust. And if you can't trust yourself to make your own decisions without having to go back and tell yourself that you are the person who keeps putting yourself in difficult situations, then not only will you be unable to trust yourself for your own happiness, but you also become easily controlled, easily manipulated, easily put into a state to where you can't believe that what you need or what you want is the right thing to do. All I can do is encourage you to look back over your choices and put them up against this little activity we did. Did you really make a mistake? Or did you not have all the facts? Did you make a mistake? Or did you not see this coming in any way, shape, or form? Did you make a mistake? Or did you realize those red flags weren't enough for you to decide that every danger is right around the corner? Did you make a mistake, but you went at it with the purest of heart and intention? If you can go back and look at your mistakes and see which things aren't really your fault or which things came from a place of love, then you can rebuild that sense of self-trust to start getting your train going in whatever direction you choose. I appreciate you listening to me. I hope this helps, and hopefully I'll have some new things to think about soon. Bye.